The Modern Man Tutorials, Episode 7, How to Control a Woman's Emotion. You gotta understand human emotions, right, in general. We have more negative emotions than we have positive emotions, right? Women, they live their lives based off their emotions, right? A lot of the decisions is based off their emotions. So because of those two factors, the fact that women use their emotions to make decisions in life, and humans have more negative emotions than positive emotions, not so surprising that women by default tend to be relatively negative, which is why they tend to be relatively negative. So they tend to need some way of getting them to their happy place, right? Positive. They want happiness. They get bored easy and so forth and so forth. They always want something to get them from negative feelings to positive feelings. But like I said, by default, they tend to lean towards their negative feelings, right? In a way, it's a survival thing, stay on your negative feelings, right? So that way you're alert, aware of danger. I get that, right? I get that basic aspect of biology, right? That a woman by default would be in her negative emotions because it's a survival thing. You don't want to be constantly in your positive emotions, because then that makes you complacent, right? Makes you unaware of danger because you're not thinking that you're in danger. That's why it's unfortunate when you see some women, have some experiences in life where, like, oh yeah, these guys are cool, and we joke and laugh and this, that, there. It's so much fun being with these guys, and then they end up at a hotel room with drinks and stuff, and her and 5 guys, and something happens. Now, logically, any guy and woman would hear that story and be like, not surprised something happened, because you literally put yourself in that situation. Did you not notice anything? Did you not notice this was a bad idea? And the list goes on and on, right? Of pointing out all the red flags for that situation, how that wasn't a good situation. And part of it is because, like I said, she was happy, right? There was in this scenario I mentioned, there was alcohol involved, right? There was fun, right? There was jokes, right? Happiness. She was happy. She felt safe. That's the point, right? She felt feelings, right? She felt safe. Not once does she feel unsafe. Not once does she have, her negative feelings letting her know, hey, you might want to reconsider this situation. You're one woman, and you're small, with a whole bunch, with 5 big guys, alone in a situation where, again, you and those 5 guys, and there was alcohol involved, which further is going to weaken you, right? Your biology, because remember, alcohol is chemicals, and it's chemicals causing certain effects in your brain and stuff like that. And on top of that, you're extremely happy, right? Your positive feelings, so you're very self-doped up, as a word. All those happy feelings dope you up, right? And then throw in the alcohol, right? Very bad mix to be happily doped up and have alcohol in your system, which makes you very loose in judgments. And then the situation, which is not a good optimal situation. I'm a man, right? So from my point of view, even I would see a situation where I'm with a lot of people being a dangerous situation, right? Even though I have a particular set of skills that allow me to be safer in those types of situations, still I'd rather not be in a situation where I'm outnumbered. Being in a situation where it's just you and one other person, that's less of a bad situation, right? Because it's just 2 people, right? But when there's 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1, 5 versus 1, yeah, when you're in those types of situations where you're outnumbered, you're always supposed to be on your guard. You're always supposed to be trying to avoid those situations. That's why when you see a group of, people, it doesn't even have to be men. It could be a group of women, or a mixture of men and women, just in general, a large group, moving together. Somebody who's just moving by themselves will try to get away and avoid that group, because you never know. What if that group wants to hurt you? They have the strength in numbers, literally. So that's the same goes for any other situation. But let's get away from that topic. Just pointing that out. That back to emotions, right? So since you understand the concept of emotion, hopefully that is clear. So I also hear a lot that women talk about that they weren't happy, or their man, their boyfriend or husband or whatever, they'll make them happy, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times they'll mention that they were not happy, and there's many reasons why she would not be happy. Because again, the whole point is that women and men too, but mainly women, right? In this topic is they have, again, more negative emotions than positive emotions, and they tend to quickly and easily, since there's more negative emotions, anything can cause them to immediately shift to their negative emotions. Because like I said, there's more negative emotions than happy emotions, right? Because we got sadness, anger, depression, doubt, fear, right? That's just 5 right there. 5 negative emotions I just mentioned. But when you mention good emotions, happiness, laughter, like joy, I'll say joy. So happiness, joy, love. We'll say, horniness, sexual arousal. So, try to add some stuff in there. But the point is, I got up to 4 in that example, but there was 5 negative examples, right? So there's more negative than positive. But the thing is, no one wants to be negative anyway, right? But that's the point. So they're going to be, it's easy to have negative emotions because it just takes something happening that you don't like to get you in a bad mood, right? You can have a bad day and bang, now you're in negative emotions. Now anything anyone does will always come off as negative, always will come off as a bad thing, even though no one's doing anything wrong. Just because the person is in negative, in their negative emotions, that creates, a toxic environment, right? Being negative. So then you gotta go back to positive. This is why a lot of women say that, oh, my last relationship was toxic. Oh, he was toxic. Like complaining, saying that the guys they're with were toxic. But when you actually ask them like questions and really try to figure out, get the full story of what really happened that makes them say that the relationship was toxic, you find out it was just stupid things. Things that is like, that's not toxic. For you to be mad about that was childish. Like, for example, oh, he always leaves the toilet seat up in the bathroom, therefore he's toxic. No. He doesn't text me 3 times a day. He only texts me twice a day. He's toxic. No. And the list goes on and on of all these unimportant, insignificant, childish things that women use as an excuse to say that something was toxic. He bought me a $2,000 purse instead of a $3,000 purse. He's toxic. Again, shit that don't make sense. Like that's not what y'all using the word toxic wrong. Toxic is supposed to be bad. Like you had food and you were eating it, and then he grabbed the food and threw it in the trash can. That's toxic. But if he bought you food, you ate it, you wanted more food, and he was like, no, that's not him being toxic. See the difference? The difference of toxic, but oh well. That's for a different conversation, for a different video. Back to controlling a woman's emotions, right? The understanding that you got to figure out what will get her to go from negative emotions to positive emotions. What's an interesting factor, I'm going to use this example. What's an interesting thing is, right, most guys and women as well, right? When it comes to kids, we are typically, like I'll say 80% of the time, we are great at controlling kids' emotions. When a kid is crying or sad or mad, we quickly try to figure out what can we do to, make the child stop being sad, right? Because that's a negative emotion, right? How can we make them happy, which is a positive emotion? We quickly figure out that, right? Now, when it comes to adults, we don't do that. When it comes to adults, we're like, oh my God, why is she mad at me? Like, it don't make sense. She's tripping. She's not telling me why she's mad. But the thing is, instead of you trying to figure out why she's mad, which ironically a lot of women complain that guys never try to figure out, even though it's like, see, but you know why you're mad. Why don't you tell him? It's messed up that you have the ability to speak like an adult and tell him what's wrong, but instead you choose to be a child and cry, and expect him to figure it out. It's like you're literally an adult that's capable of speaking. You're not a baby no more. See, when it comes to babies crying, we'll keep trying and figure it out because we know for a fact that the child can't tell us. So we have to figure it out. But a grown-ass woman supposed to be able to tell us what's wrong. And that's the confusion, is that you got grown-ass women who act like they're little children. Which, unfortunately, here I'm going this route, is that I tend to deal with women as if they're children. Because if you're going to act like a child, I'm going to treat you like one. I prefer a woman to act like a woman, right? Mature, have self-control. But, instead, most women still act like they're little girls, throwing temper tantrums, expecting daddy to, figure out what is, what's wrong, and do stuff to make her happy. And that's how most women treat the men they're in a relationship with, as if they're their father. Like, I want things, you gotta give it to me. I'm unhappy, you gotta fix it, daddy. Like, even got to the point where you got women out here calling their boyfriends or their sex partner daddy. You know what I mean? Hey, to each their own. I don't care. If that's a kinky thing or whatever, if y'all want to say this, that, but it's just the realization. It's like, I'm not surprised that that's a thing, because of the fact that it's like, that's how women for the past 20 plus years been acting. They've been acting like every guy that they date is their father, or supposed to act like their father, right? Supposed to act like a father figure per se, not like their daddy, but like a father figure. Feed them, clothe them, make them happy, make their wishes come true. Your wish is my command type thing. Like, if we're a genie in a bottle, whatever she wants, I'm supposed to make it happen. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Because it's the same thing like with the government, you know what I mean? Like, the government is supposed to make things happen, but within reason, right? Within reason. They're supposed to make things happen within reason. The government still requires us citizens to, put an effort to make things better. Our communities can be better if we work together as a community and fix our own community, instead of looking at the government like, hey, fix our problems. Why don't we fix it ourselves? We have the ability to. I remember when they started giving out the stimulus checks, and all I was thinking is like, man, if people put if communities, neighborhoods put their stimulus checks together, they can make things. They can make their neighborhoods better. They can make lives better for everybody. They can create opportunities. They could create jobs. Because there's like warehouses, right? There's like old buildings that can be turned into like a business, right? So that way people can have jobs, so people can make money, and then the community can benefit, because the people working in these buildings will be people who live in the community, not people who live outside of the neighborhood, but people who actually live in the neighborhood, and we can all grow and stuff. Like, that's for a different video, but you get my point. So back to controlling women's emotions, right? Because since they act like a child, unfortunately, you have to treat them as such. So try to figure out what makes her happy. A lot of times, some guys do it right. They do, pick up certain cues, certain things about certain females' behaviors. There's some women who what makes them happy is food, right? Some women, what makes them happy is gifts. Some women are happy because of, and most guys will like this scenario. Most women are happy because of sex, like, sexual attention. Would actually make them happy. One of my exes, told me that, I gave a scenario where, it's like, if you were mad at me, this, that, and third, if I, gave you dick, would that fix the problem? And she agreed that it would. No hesitation. She agreed that it would. It's like, okay, I expected a different response. I expected more of a, like, no, if you made me mad about something, or something was wrong, I want you to fix it. But instead, no, the response was like, yeah, give me dick, and I'll let it go. It's like, okay, well, there's tons of guys out there that will not disagree with that idea. It's like, so I'm not against that idea. Hey, if it works, it works, right? Again, whatever makes her happy. Literally, whatever makes her happy, right? So you got to find out what makes her happy and then use it, right? Sometimes there's the idea of, knowing somebody's buttons, right? Trigger, knowing what makes somebody, mad or unhappy. That's important. See, because here's the thing. Guys know how to make themselves happy, right? We have many different ways that we make ourselves happy. Hobbies, video games, hanging with the boys, masturbation, the list goes on, right? Men find ways to make themselves happy because they know that happiness actually comes from yourself, right? It's a state of mind that is usually associated with something external. Like playing video games make you happy, right? Having sex makes you happy, so forth and so forth, right? Eating food makes you happy. So most guys, by default, since we have to control our emotions, which is a smart thing to do, is we know what makes us sad and what makes us happy. Therefore, we would do what we can to make ourselves happy, because if we don't make ourselves happy, then we're always angry. And if we're always angry, that's not usually a good thing, because we all know what happens when we're angry. And you won't like us when we're angry. So we clearly gotta make ourselves happy. The thing is this unfortunate is that a lot of women, they understand they want to be happy, obviously. They prefer their positive feelings over their negative feelings. The thing is though, is that they don't try to come up with ways to make themselves happy, because they already convinced themselves that their happiness comes from other things, like traveling the world, eating different things every day, the boyfriend giving them a lot of attention, guys on the internet giving them a lot of attention, and the list goes on and on. That's the thing. All that extra stuff is what makes them happy. Instead of having a hobby, right? I mean, there are some women out there, because of course some women will be like, well, I play video games, I do this, I do that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes. Some of your women found ways to make yourselves happy. But the thing is that, yes, you found ways to make yourself happy, but the thing is that you're addicted to these things that make you happy. Y'all don't use these things to make yourself happy once in a while, and then the rest of the time, you do things. You be responsible, right? You focus on others. A woman would focus on making herself happy, that she'll literally ignore everyone else, right? And then it comes with the hypocrisy, because women will complain that, oh, he's always playing his video games instead of spending time with me. But then when a woman gets on a video game, she does the same thing. Actually, she does even worse, because at least a guy understands he has to stop playing the video game at some point. But a woman will be addicted to the game and would never want to leave. And if they can make and I'm not gonna go into that topic, but you get the point. Is that most women don't have hobbies, don't make themselves happy, right? So they always looking for somebody to make them happy. That's where them having sex with a whole bunch of guys come into play, because they want happiness. That's why they want dates. They want to fly around the world and take pictures and post them on Instagram. They want attention, right? They want sex from certain specific guys because they want to be happy, right? And think about it, it's sex with certain guys, not sex in general, because women can have sex with any guy, average guys, poor guys, rich guys, but they always want the hot rich guys, right? And it's more because of that than that they're horny or something like that. It's not that they don't care much for the sex, it's that they just care about the fact that they're with somebody that makes them happy just by that person's existence. So if a woman sees an attractive guy and he has money on top of that, that makes her happy. Those two factors make her happy. Like emotionally happy, not horny, emotionally happy. The horniness comes later on, right? But again, it's all about her happiness, not anything else, not anything of necessity, nothing logical. It's just her feelings, right? So for guys, it's about physical stuff is what matters to us guys, which is why we have hobbies that tend to be physical, all right, or at least stimulates our intellect. For women, it's just about their feelings, which is why they could play video games and suck at it, but it makes them happy, right? Especially online video games, because if women had to play video games without internet, woo, not happy at all, because they'll suck at the game, and that and that will make them worse. This is why women before the internet, or online gaming, I should say, they never cared for video games. That's why I hate the disrespect that some women, some females are like, nah, that's bullshit. You're acting like video games is for boys, la 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 la. It's for girls too, la la. All this extra bullshit, all this feminist stuff is like, no, false. Guys were always trying to get girls to play video games. Girls always thought that guys who play video games were losers and shit like that. And then now y'all trying to act like playing video games is a cool, popular thing to do. No, F out of here with that nonsense. Y'all used to disrespect guys who play video games. Y'all used to say guys are losers for playing video games because you rather them take you on dates, take you to the movie, buy you things, have sex with you. That's all you cared about when it came to guys. You didn't care that they were happy playing a game. Y'all used to think playing games was a loser thing. But then now it's a normal thing that every woman feels like she wants to do. Fuck out of here. But anyway, again, like I said, it's about feelings, not logic. Right? So since now they feel, the excitement and the enjoyment of video games, now they want to act like they always was about video games. F out of here. Video games were made by guys for guys, not by women for women, or even by women at all. Women can play video games, but they were not designed for them. They were designed for boys because boys are the ones who actually likes having hobbies, likes actually doing something. So, tips to control women's emotions. Jokes. That's why you hear sometimes women talking about, oh my God, if he has a sense of humor, oh my God, that is awesome. If he has a sense of humor, he definitely can get in a relationship with me, blah, blah, blah. Because laughter, right? Happiness is an emotion. She wants to be happy, and if a guy can make her laugh, it makes her happy. Happy emotions, right? You gotta remember that happiness is a woman's drug of choice, right? Her crack. And a lot of times you gotta give her that, but sometimes you gotta be too careful not to give her too much, right? That's where she becomes a little too clingy, and she starts becoming like an actual crackhead for your attention, which is why she will want your attention 24/7 instead of appreciating your attention once in a while. And after a while, she might start regretting getting too much attention, regret being told jokes. Like you'll notice after a while, she'll stop laughing at your jokes. So then she's becoming what they say desanitized, as it were. She's no longer enjoys it because now it's becoming normal. It's like, oh man, he makes jokes every day. That's getting boring. Yeah, if you keep doing it every day, you got to do it once in a while to surprise her. That's the thing, is that you got to do different things, not just make jokes. Like, don't do jokes all the time. Do it once in a while. Don't be nice to her all the time. Do it once in a while. And the list goes on. Now this, in concept might sound messed up, the whole be nice to her once in a while. But it's because of the fact that she appreciates those, those nice gestures, those happy moments when they're not constant. Because if she constantly is getting attention, she's going to resent it. When she's getting constant compliments, she's going to resent it, and the list goes on. That's the thing. We all get tired and bored of something. That's why women, typically want to eat different things. A woman could be like, could you go to any place to eat, right? And let's say she always orders a salad, right? But you tend to order different things every time you go there. Maybe one time you got a meatloaf, another time you got a cheesesteak or something. And every time she always wants a piece. She wants some of what you got. But it's like, but if you want to eat what I'm eating, why don't we just order two of the same thing? Why you always got to order salad, right? As an example, or whatever she likes to order. And then you want what I got. Right? That's weird. That's a contradiction there. But it's because of the fact that she always wants to do something different. Even when she does the same thing over and over again, order the same thing, she always wants something different, which is why she will always want what you got. Another thing is, it's not just that. Women always want, different things to, because it makes them happy doing different things all the time. They don't want to do the same thing all the time. It goes with the hypergamy thing. They always want something different or better than what they already had. It's the whole been there, done that thing. If they already ate a cheesecake, they don't want to keep eating it. They want something different. Guys, we can eat cheesecake for the rest of our lives. Guys can be, happy with this, with their favorite shirt. They have a shirt they'll keep for the rest of their life. Women, just always throwing things away and always replacing, always want something new. Everything got to be new, including their boyfriends, which is unfortunate, right, for guys. So that's why you always got to, be spontaneous, do things differently from time to time, because you want to make her feel like she is constantly getting different things. You're feeding into her need of not the same thing, different day type of stuff, right? You don't want it to be same thing, different day, right? You want it to be different things, different days. So one day you're extra happy, you're extra nicer. The next day you're average nicer. The next day after that, you probably don't talk to her at all, and and then you just rinse and repeat, as it were, right? You start mixing it up. Even sometimes during the course of a day, I'll mix it up where, like in the morning, I might be a little quiet, a little grumpy, as it were, right? Not giving her much attention during the morning, but then in the afternoon, give her more attention. And change it up. One morning I could be extra excited. Give her extra attention in the morning, and then give her very little in the afternoon, and just switch it up. Another thing is that you want to make the reason, part of why you want to reduce the making her happy, like make her happy once in a while, is because what you want is that you want her to want it. You want her to want to be happy, right? Because like I said, she makes herself happy, right? So you need to understand what will trigger her making herself happy. She'll want to be happy, so you want her to want to be happy, and to want you to make her happy, even with the smallest of gestures. So you don't want to keep trying to make her happy every day, because like I said, she'll get bored of it, right? She'll get tired of it. You want to make her happy, and hopefully it lasts for a while. Once it goes away and she starts looking like she's not happy, then you can, make her happy again. And it's the up and down concept, because when she's happy, it's like she's high. So then you want the high to come down, and then make her high again, and then have the high come down. Can't keep her high all the time, right? So you make her happy, you're making her high. When she's not happy, that's when she's on her lows, and you always want to bring her back up every time she goes down. So first you gotta let her go down, right? You gotta let her get sad, right? Unhappy, right? Get into her negative feelings once in a while, and then bring them back up to her positive, right? And then another thing that this does, other than you're controlling her feelings for her in that regards, what it also it does, it makes her dependent on you for that, because she knows if she's, she doesn't feel, anytime she feels sad or any type of negative emotion, she knows she can rely on you to, do something to fix that. And you definitely want to, and as guys, we're problem solvers. We like to fix things. So, make a joke and make her happy. Bang, problem solved. But a lot of guys don't tend to have that particular skill set, because again, that's the irony, right? Most guys nowadays try to treat the woman they're with as an equal, as if she's capable of controlling herself, as she's capable of being happy on her own. But that's not what you're supposed to do. That's a contradiction. Women say, oh, treat us as equal. Men and women are the same. Nope, no, we're not. We're different. And most women are actually very childish, very selfish. So you gotta treat them like they're selfish, because they are. Treat them like they're a child, because they act like it. And, make jokes. Give them food. Give them sex. Whatever, makes them happy, that makes them happy for a fact, do those things. We know this one. if it makes them happy to talk, like they love to talk, if that makes them happy, then you're gonna have to give her that, right? You're gonna, get good at starting conversation, but also stopping them, because you don't want her to spend the whole entire day talking. Because like I said, once she gets happy, because if talking makes her happy, she will try to talk forever, because it makes her happy. You need to make sure you can cut it down, that you let her get like 30 minutes of happiness from talking, but then turn that conversation off, right? Because you got things to do. You don't want to spend the whole entire day talking. So you got to know how to communicate and how to get her to, to stop talking after a while, right? Sex stand with silence, right? So you got to learn the silence part. And it's of course, some women will complain about that, be like, oh my God, controlling, this, that, this, see, this is bad. And, they want to hear it as negative. But it's like, if women were truly equal to a man, it'd be easier for us to get along, because one, you make yourself happy. You don't rely on me to make you happy. I don't need to control your emotions, because you already have control of it. The problem is that women don't have control of their emotions. They let their emotions control them, and they, like I said, they act childish. They're selfish. They're selfless. They're more selfish. They care more about what makes them happy, like I said, right? Happiness, than what makes their significant other happy. So they care about themselves more than they care about you. So it's like, all right, well, you're going to have to treat them with logic, treat them the way they behave. So if a woman acts like a child, you treat her like a child until she, womans up and acts like a woman, acts like an equal, which is very rare, because women don't want to act equal. They want to act special, right? They want to be treated special. They want to be treated different. So hopefully this has helped you learn how to control women, emotions. which, yes, I'll say it can lead to controlling a woman, make her love you more, make her, take her clothes off faster, whatever. Because ironically, the concept of game is not, you know, tricking a woman per se into liking you, or impressing her, or any of this extra stuff, or just learning how to talk and act and behave in a way that makes her think you're like cool, or an awesome guy, or mysterious, or all this. No, that's what a lot of these idiots out here on the internet will try to tell you, that that's what game is. No, real game, as in like a man's ability to get along and interact with a woman and get the woman to like him, comes from controlling her emotions, getting her, because like I said, by default, she's going to be in her negative emotions. By default, she sees you're a man, she's automatically going to look at you negatively. She's automatically like, okay, what does he want? Probably all he wants is sex. Bang, immediately sees you negatively. Doesn't see you as someone who's, nice, kind, generous, respectful, blah. No, she just immediately, he's a guy. He just wants sex. I'm gonna treat that like that's a bad thing. Like, wow, really? That's a normal human thing, but okay, you're gonna use it against men, right? So again, by default, women will be negative. So you got to be able to find a way to make her positive, right? Make her positive of seeing you, of being around you. So you're gonna have to find a way to be able to get her to like you, make her happy. So a joke, shit, sometimes even doing something stupid that makes you look, bad, makes you look, obviously makes you look bad, ironically will make her like you. That's ironic, right? You looking bad, you in a situation that makes you look bad, makes her look good. There's some scenarios where, for example, women were happy to see a guy sad. Like, sad at the idea of like, oh yeah, man, this woman, this girl, she was mean to me, blah, blah, blah. And some women actually do like that. They like the idea of like, oh my God, he has feelings, emotions. He got his feelings hurt by a woman. Oh, and bang, now she likes you. Right? It's weird that your sadness makes her happy, but it does. There's times where your sadness, your misfortunes makes women happy. That is fucked up to say, but it is a reality. So, again, you making a fool of yourself on purpose, right? Making yourself look like a loser in front of her, ironically has the opposite effect, make her, like you more. That's why sometimes you see scenarios where there'll be a guy, he's being awkward, nerdy, and this and that, right? A dork, as it were, and girls will be like, oh, that's so adorable, that's cute, like, oh, like they get in their feelings, right? They go from their negative feelings to their happy feelings, and like I said, there's a couple of happy feelings, like, sympathy or empathy or whatever you want to call it, right? Or happiness or pity, right? Ironically, pity, right? Pity as a happy emotion, but technically it is, right? But this should be enough information of, understanding how to control her emotions, so that way you and her get along, because ultimately she wants to be happy. And if you can make her happy with the smallest things, the more you know, the better. Again, women want to be controlled regardless if what they say. They be like, oh, I don't like controlling men. That's actually a lie. They actually love controlling men, because they need the outside control, right? They need something to stimulate them. They don't make themselves happy. They need other things to make them happy, like food, clothing, travel, compliments, humor, like whatever. So that's the end of the video. Like I said, food.